So you want to learn more about the Accelerate. Well, okay, I'll tell you about it. The Accelerate comes with the gold sets or with the expansion packs, and it is a 3-axis wireless accelerometer embedded, and it also gives you 4 extra ports to plug in your own sensors, and it also comes with a very basic sensor pack, including a pressure sensor, which we call the Exert, a sonar distance sensor, which is top of the line, down to a centimeter resolution that we call the Wave, and a light sensor that we very appropriately call the Flash. And here is our Accelerate, and it's going to look slightly different from the one you have because this in my hand here is a beta prototype. And so these charging pegs are replaced with a USB jack that you should have. And then these ports here actually may be changed, if I have my way, to these white JST connectors. So your sensors will actually have a pin looking a lot like your battery actually. You'll actually have these ports here that you can plug in to, again, these white jacks into the top of your Accelerate. So let's go ahead and start then and learn a little bit more about the Accelerate. Go ahead and with your fuse plugged in, turn it on by pressing the bottom button here, and you'll know all is well with a green light. If that light isn't blinking green, your fuse either is not plugged in, or you're too far away, or you forgot to synchronize it. So if you press that top button. Now if nothing else works with handshaking these things, you're still getting that red light, you may want to just turn off the eMote, unplug the fuse, and wait like 20 seconds or so for the capacitors to all get rid of their charge. Plug the fuse back in after 20 seconds, and then go ahead and start this back up and re-push that top button, and it should turn green. If not, rinse and repeat. You just do that again. It will turn on. So now that we have this turn on, we're going to go to our digital data workstation. Now I've already have my serial device selected. I've had this turned on, and because I've activated my Accelerate eMote, you'll also see in this window Mod Accelerate. Now check it out. The data isn't going to make a lot of sense right now because it needs to undergo a calibration routine. And the reason why I have a calibration routine is that your data, your eMotes are going to act differently. You're going to get different values based on the amount of battery power you have, arbitrary things like temperature, environment, the time of day. For your light sensors, maybe your ambient light in one room is going to be different from a range in like a spotlight on stage. And so this is really useful because you're going to get the data range that you expect, or hopefully. So what you can do is press the top button here to calibrate all, or what I like to do is calibrate each one individually. So the x-axis for your accelerometer, again, is if you're on an airplane and you're rolling the wings up and down. You're rocking the rings up and down. So let's go and rock those wings. Tilt all the way up, tilt all the way down. And now take a look at that really smooth data, right? I'm going to do this one last time. Make sure I get that nice full range. Okay? Now that I have that, I'm going to go ahead and calibrate my y-axis. That is, as if you're on an airplane, you're going to tilt your nose up and down. So let's calibrate this one. So tilting your nose up, tilt that nose down, and now you have your full Y data range. And now the Z-axis, again, is like straight through the bottom. And I'm just going to roll it around like that, nice and gently. Now I have 1G when I'm flat. I have 0 Gs when I'm on my side or straight up. And I have -1G if I tilt my Accelerate upside down. Cool. Now these other ports, you can plug in any of the sensors. Let's go ahead and start with the sonar. The sonar operates on all of the different plugs. Let's go ahead and plug this into port, the first port here. Okay, So I just plug that in, and here's my sonar. Let's go ahead and make sure it's in there. Yeah. Okay. So I have my sonar. And again, I have to calibrate it. Now this is, calibrating is really important because these sonars have a really long range. And so let's say I just want the width of my screen here. So I actually need to calibrate it. And the calibration sequence only lasts 5 seconds, the window. So I'm going to go ahead and click this port here. Put it about as far away as I want to. And then I'm going to approach the screen. And then I'm going to go back. And so that's about as far as I would like for it to go. And now that 5 seconds has passed roughly, I'm free now to go ahead and let it float out into space. And then I can have my distance up to 1 centimeter for that particular range, right? And you'll notice the data is a little bit noisy, but we can take care of that in our data track, right? Using the smoothing factor, the filtering factor. That's pretty nice, all right? Now let's go ahead and just unjack that. You can unplug things and plug things in at will, which is the beauty of the eMersion sensors. All right, this is the light sensor we call the flash. It looks like a photo cell or CDS cell. And I'm just going to plug that in so that the red and the white, well, I guess you don't have to worry about it if you have those JST connectors. So I'm just going to plug that in so that the red wire lines up with the red and the white lines up with the white. And then because I'm using the same port, I need to recalibrate this data range. So I'm just going to click that red button on port 1 again. I'm going to cover this completely with my hands and reopen it. And I want you to see that the data now is calibrated based on the distance of my hand in the room, right? And that's pretty cool. That's a nice, smooth data factor. And then I'll go ahead and unplug that. Let's go ahead and demonstrate the pressure sensor, what we call the exert. Looks like a little sucker. You can plug that into port 1 if you'd like. Again, the wires lining up red and red. And then go ahead and click port 1's red button again to calibrate it. And now just give it a little squeeze, right? And you're going to squeeze it. You're going to want to squeeze it as hard as you feel you're going to use it. If you're just going to always use light pressure, then only apply light pressure. Don't feel like you have to squeeze the juice out of it. And now, as you squeeze, you're going to get that beautiful data. Now, once all that is together, oh, here's another feature, free fall. This is really great. So when you like drop this, it's not only going to give you when it has fallen, but it's also going to say the amount of milliseconds it has fallen. That's what the numbers are. So 251, 173, 344. So you can measure the intensity of free fall. This could be cool if you want to put this in a ball or on your instrument. You want to kind of, trigger sounds using these motions. That's all really fun and useful to play with. So going to the digital data workstation, it's just a matter of selecting. Notice how if your eMotes aren't showing up here, because remember we're supposed to have our eMotes started before we do the digital data workstation. What you can do is just click the eMotion icon. And this should refresh everything. So now, bam, we have our accelerate. Let's go ahead and select, let's select port 1. And now when I squeeze my, pressure sensor, my exert, I will go ahead and do that now. We have that data in the track. You can again rescale here as necessary, send to your output destinations, all of that fancy stuff. This is another great thing to do for like adjusting your pressure. Let's say I want the pressure to immediately go up, so no filtering on the rising. So when I squeeze, it's going to immediately snap to the top. But when I release, I want it to kind of gently fall. And so I'm going to increase that filter strength. And now check it out. So when I squeeze, it's going to snap all the way up quickly. Bam. And then when I release, it's going to take a while for it to fall, the data to fall back to 0. One more time. Sharp attack, slow release. And you can condition all of your sensors, to have its own sensitivity. So here, I need to press this for a long time for my data to finally reach the top. And then when I release, bam, it like goes straight down. This could be very useful as well. So that filter strength is pretty powerful. All right. Well, I believe that's all you need to know about the Accelerate. Thank you.